Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Predictions with PCJ. This is your host again, Pop Culture Junkie, aka the Pro Wrestling Junkie. We have only a few days away from this Sunday's WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view, the 2019 Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and this is the night where we get to find out who's going to win the briefcase to guarantee them a title shot at the main title. Their choice, whether it's SmackDown or Raw. You're going to have two ladder matches. We also have a steel cage match. We have a U.S. title match. We've got a Cruiserweight title match, tag team title match. So many title matches going on. And we have a double women's title match. That's right. Becky Lynch will be defending both Raw and women's titles in two separate matches. So lots of action expected for this show. I'm anxious to see because there's a lot of things up in the air with how crazy WWE's been lately, with their superstar shakeup, with their wild card rule or whatever. Who knows? They are in panic mode right now to where anything could possibly happen. We could see some crazy results on any match. We could see both briefcases cashed in tonight. I mean, who knows what could happen. So it's very interesting. As bad as the last few weeks of Raw and SmackDown have been, we know they have a lot on their plate that they need to get right. So who knows what they might do. We've seen them call different audibles before. Look at how Mania went. We didn't expect it to be anywhere near as great as it was, and it was a great show. So let's see where they can do the best possible results for this show. So we're going to talk about the predictions. We got some news and rumors, and then we're going to go into fan questions as always. Remember, I will be live tweeting during the entire Money in the Bank pay-per-view, so you can follow along me on Twitter at PopCultureJunk2. But let's get to the actual show here. We got 11 matches announced. We just had a pre-show match announced, or kickoff, whichever they're going to call it. So for the kickoff, we have a WWE Tag Team title, the SmackDown Tag titles, on the line. Dan Bryan and Rowan defending against the Usos. A very odd match setup considering the fact that the Usos are on Raw now, and these are for the tag titles that are on SmackDown, which Dan Bryan and Rowan are on SmackDown. So I'm going to have to say it's going to be Bryan and Rowan. I don't see them having the Usos win the titles just to bring them over to Raw. So yeah, going to go with Dan Bryan and Rowan getting the win here. All right, so on the main card, starting off, we've got the Cruiserweight title match. Tony Nese just won the title at Mania. He will be defending against Daivari. I'm going to go with Tony Nese getting the win here by pinfall. We got the WWE US title, Samoa Joe defending against Rey Mysterio. Even though there's not supposed to be any guaranteed rematches, we have this rematch from WrestleMania. I mean, Samoa Joe squashed Rey in a matter of minutes and made him tap. So not really sure why we had to have this rematch. I think they could have paired up Joe with somebody else or put Joe in the Money in Bank match itself. But going to go with Samoa Joe getting the win here. He's going to make Rey Mysterio tap out. All right, next up we have the steel cage match of The Miz versus Shane McMahon. I'm going to go with The Miz getting the win here, probably by escaping the cage. I'm going to say there's probably going to be some interference, whether it's Daniel Bryan and Rowan, or maybe the B team of Bo Dallas and Axel, but we'll see who comes in to interfere and help out Shane. But going to go with The Miz getting the win here. Then we have Roman Reigns versus Elias. I'm sure we're going to just see Roman knock him out with a few Superman punches, spear, and pin. So it's a real shame, too, because Elias, I think, should actually be in the Money in the Bank match and win that match. I think he should have been there, but Roman Reigns is going to get the win over Elias, I'm sure. Then we got the Universal title match, Seth Rollins defending against AJ Styles. I wish they had held off on this match until SummerSlam, because then it would really be a 50-50 split on who was going to win. But I don't think they're going to have Rollins drop the title 1 month after winning it at Mania, so I'm going to go with Seth Rollins. WWE title match, Kofi Kingston defending against Kevin Owens. Now, however, this match, I would like to see Kevin Owens get the win here. He's due. He's not been champion for how long? He was a great Universal Champion, and I think he's come back strong. He's in the best shape. He's awesome on the mic. I mean, he can wrestle, he can talk, he's got the whole package. So, yes, I want to see Kevin Owens get the win here. So, Kevin Owens is my pick for there. WWE Raw Women's title match. We have Becky Lynch defending against Lacey Evans. I'm going with Becky Lynch getting the submission here. Then we have WWE SmackDown Women's title match. Becky Lynch defending against Charlotte Flair. I'm going to go with armbar submission again. I think there's no reason to have Becky drop either one of these titles yet. Let her have this first pay-per-view where she puts on a double defense, and then she could drop a title at a show or on the next pay-per-view, whatever. But yes, I'm going to go with Becky Lynch retaining both belts. And who knows, it could be DQ or count out, something like that with one of them. But I want to see Becky Lynch retain both titles. All right, we got the first Money in the Bank match. We're going to go with the women's one here. We have Natalya versus Dana Brooke versus Naomi versus Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Mandy Rose versus Ember versus Carmella. I'm going to go with Mandy Rose here. I think Alexa would be a good choice to go with based on her storyline that she has going right now. It'd be fun to have her and Nikki Cross doing stuff together, you know, trying to help her cash in and so forth, even though I wish Nikki Cross was just the psychotic, crazy character that we loved in NXT. But anyways, but I'm going to go with Mandy Rose here. She's had a good run this past, like, 6-8 months, and I think it would be great. I want to see her move up to the next level. So Mandy Rose is my pick. All right, then we have the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have the newly entered to the match, Sami Zayn, who won a match against Braun Strowman on Monday, so that he is now replacing Braun. So Braun is out of the match, which is perfectly fine considering he lost last year, or he won the match last year, and then he lost the cash-in, and it was just ridiculous. So the participants for the men's match, we have Sami Zayn versus Ricochet versus Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin versus Mustafa Ali versus Finn Balor versus Andrade Cien Almas versus Randy Orton. My pick, I'm going to go with Sami Zayn. I think that's a smart move. He's come in strong, and I would not be surprised if they have him try to cash in on Kevin Owens. Maybe Seth Rollins, since he's on Raw, which makes more sense. But I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do something like that. We'll see. All right, let's go on to some news and rumors. AEW has signed Earl Hebner to be a referee for the new promotion. He formerly worked for WWF and TNA, and he is, of course, most famous for being the referee that was involved in the Montreal Screwjob match back in the Survivor Series of 1997. But to me, he is still one of the worst referees in history. If you don't believe me, just watch any match he referees and see how bad his 2 counts are. Speaking of AEW, they have signed a TV deal with TNT, which is very interesting considering TNT used to be the home for WCW programming. So they have a home now, they have a network, and now we can see what kind of show they're going to put together for us. And we'll find out what night of the week and what kind of program they're going to be put out. I mean, could be a 1 hour, 2 hour show. I doubt they'll do 3 hours to try to compete with WWE. That would be foolish, but we'll see. And finally, WWE's next show in Saudi Arabia will take place on June 7th. 3 matches have been advertised for the show so far. Triple H versus Randy Orton. Why? Who wants to see that again? I was sitting in the audience at WrestleMania 25 where those two had the last match of the night. It was a snore fest. And you know me, it was not because of Triple H, okay? But we got Triple H versus Randy Orton. Last year, of course, around this time, we had Triple H against John Cena. I'm sure John Cena is just busy doing his movie stuff, which is why we don't have him here. But yeah, so we have Triple H against Randy Orton as one of the advertised matches. We also have a 50-man Battle Royal advertised. So we have another one of these gigantic Battle Royals. Of course, they say Battle Royal and not Royal Rumble. So does that mean they're going to put all 50 stars in the ring at the very beginning and ring the bell and somehow we're going to see some kind of a match with 50 guys in the ring? Interesting, but I'd rather they do that than try to say another Royal Rumble because I don't count Greatest Royal Rumble as anything to do with the real Royal Rumble. But does this mean Braun Strowman will be showing up with his green title belt and defending it in the Battle Royal? That will be interesting to see. And finally, the other match announced is The Undertaker versus Goldberg. Why so soon? I mean, we've got Undertaker who has wrestled, a few minutes every match. Hey, I guess it works out because Goldberg's matches in WCW lasted around 2 minutes anyway, so it's perfect setup, I guess. Who wins? I can't see them having Goldberg and Undertaker fight and having Goldberg go over the Undertaker. So I don't see that happening. So I'm assuming it will be Undertaker getting the win here. But again, this is all about Saudi Arabia. The people that are paying for this, they want whatever they want. And if you remember last year around this time, they said, we want Ultimate Warrior and we want Yokozuna at the show. And it's like, they've been dead for a while. So who knows? Maybe they wanted Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they're like, we can get you Goldberg. He's bald and got a goatee. How about that? Okay, let's get to some fan questions, but real quick, I want to share with everyone out there one more time that there is still time to enter my Money in the Bank giveaway contest. That's right, we have a Money in the Bank giveaway contest going on right now on the channel here. There's a video on the channel. Go find it, watch it, and comment on that video, and that way you can be entered into the contest, okay? Need to enter by this Saturday so that it can, I can have all the entries. So make sure you enter and don't miss out. Winner is going to get an awesome wrestling themed mystery box put together by yours truly. You're going to love it. All right, let's get some fan questions. Josh Floberg asks, what match could steal the show? Either one of the latter matches should be an obvious choice, but I would definitely put my money on Kevin Owens and Kofi Kingston, both very talented, so I would like to see that. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, if we hadn't seen it so many times, I would maybe pick that one, but we've seen it so many times already. But I'm going to say either one of the latter matches or Kofi versus Kevin Owens. Josh also asks, which match do you think will main event the show? That's tricky with Money in the Bank, because you wonder, are they going to open with a Money in the Bank match and close with one, and then have all the title matches and everything else in the middle? But at the same time, you kind of want those ladder matches to happen earlier so that there's that element of surprise possibility that you think any moment now someone's going to cash in. So it's tough for me to say, but honestly, I think, as always, the WWE title should always main event any pay-per-view. So it should be Kofi versus Kevin Owens for the main title. So that should be the main event regardless. That should never even be a question. I mean, it's your main title. And that way you do wonder whether or not the men's winner of the Money in the Bank match decides to cash in or not. So, yeah, that should be the main event. Figure Scoper asks, or brings up, discuss potential winners and possible cash-ins in the night and the storylines possible. Well, as far as cash-ins go, I picked Sami Zayn and I picked Mandy Rose. And I'd like to see Mandy Rose come in and try to cash in on Becky on either one of those matches, because that gives her a chance where, comparatively, Mandy is not to the level of Becky. At least that's the way their characters are portrayed. So Mandy needs all the help she can get, and if she can interfere or cause some kind of distraction. So if Mandy can come from behind, knock out Becky with the briefcase, and then cash in right there, that's how she's going to get the title. And she's a heel anyway, so she needs to get it in a underhanded way. So I would see that. And then Sami Zayn, I'm curious, because we've got the whole we've got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn as friends again. They haven't feuded in a long time. Not that I really want to see them feud, but there's that possibility there. Also, who knows? Kofi could get the win, and Sami shows up and cashes in on Kofi and gets the title that way, if Sami is the winner, of course. So that's something else I'd like to see. Samantha S. asks, the chances of Drew McIntyre winning the briefcase. They're strong because, you can tell he's exactly what Vince likes in a superstar, but I don't think he needs the briefcase to win his first championship. I think he could easily just have a title match against Rollins or AJ Styles or whoever is the champ at the time, and I think that's perfectly fine the way, doing it that way, rather than relying on a briefcase to get you your title. So I think it's easy to pick him as a winner because of all the tools he brings to the match, but yeah, I don't think he needs the briefcase. Kevin Haig asks, hey PCJ, I was wondering if you think Raw and SmackDown should follow NXT style of programming and show entire matches with no breaks or commercials, give the performers freedom to do their own promos and develop their characters. Yes, I mean, that's how so many of the big names that we remember fondly from Attitude Era and prior and everywhere else, yeah, they did their own material, they molded their characters, they did their own script for promos and everything. They were given bullet points at times, but they were able to make things into their own, and nowadays everything is so scripted down to the letter, and you have no creative choices of your own. So yeah, I do think there's a lot of that missing in the main shows, and that's what's hurting it. Obviously, look at the ratings. Look at all the times they complain about people not tuning in, and then how they have flat out complained about how we boo the people they want us to cheer, even though we don't like them. It's like, do things better, and we'll cheer for the right people, but again, if we're cheering for somebody, why don't you just push that person? Why don't you stop pushing somebody down our throats that we don't want? It's like, they don't listen. They think they say they do, but they don't. Yeah, I think NXT, of course, that's one of the best things about it, is you got a different show that reminds you of how things used to be, actually. So that's one of the best things about NXT, and I always enjoy their shows. Kevin also asks, I was wondering if you watch any other promotions like Impact, MLW, ROH, or will you be watching AEW? For the longest time, I've only watched WWE. I tried watching TNA for the longest, and I would watch it for a while back in like the late 2000s, like 2009 through 2011 or so, and then I kind of just stopped watching it. Mainly always watched SmackDown and Raw, and then also started watching NXT in the last 4 or 5 years now. And yeah, that's a lot to watch already. That's already well over 6 hours of programming plus a pay-per-view if you have that on a week. So there's a lot to watch in 1 week. But I am very curious to watch AEW, so whenever it is on the air, surely we'll see the first few episodes at least to see what kind of product they're putting out. And if it catches my interest and they put on a good show, then I'm definitely going to watch. But the other ones, no, I haven't watched. I've watched Ring of Honor, very, very few episodes. And MLW, I've not watched at all. So, but yeah, looking forward to AEW because they do have a lot to offer us, and they keep making us promises that they're gonna, put out a different product, and yeah. So let's see what they can do. All right, everyone, that is it for fan questions. If you ever want to submit a question or topic to discuss or answer on this video, just follow along me on Twitter. I always post it out there when I'll be doing these videos. I will be doing my recap, spoilers, and results video on Sunday evening. And on that video, we will do the results for the Money in the Bank contest. So if you have entered the contest, you will know then who the winner is. I mean, watching the show, you'll know who won based on whose guesses. But again, the way the contest goes is one person correctly guesses both men's and women's winners of the Money in the Bank ladder matches, they automatically win. That one person, if it's only one. But if more than one person correctly guesses both winners, then those people get put into a raffle, and we'll do a raffle drawing on that video where I also give the results, recap, and spoilers of the Money in the Bank show. So tune in for that. All right, everyone, enjoy the show. Hope you like it, and follow me on Twitter and let me know your thoughts as we're watching the show. All right, looking forward to it, and talk to y'all later. This is PCJ, the Pop Culture Junkie, signing out.